There are a lot of other aspects, this art integration has come in. So a lot of new things we are looking forward. So ma'am, what do you think about the vocational training? How difficult or how easy is it to implement all this? And do you think that it's a good move that vocational training is finally introduced in our school system?
Well, thank you so much, Matthew, sir, for your question. And first and foremost, I believe that the new education policy will herald a new era of education altogether in India. One that is going to focus on research, technology, as well as blended and experiential learning, as Ritika ma'am just mentioned. So I believe it will strengthen the fundamentals of education and while taking into account the global perspectives as well. And the students, I think this is the most beautiful part of the entire concept, that the students will be able to exercise choice in what they want to learn instead of what is typically prescribed by the education system. So the new policy definitely will encourage learners as well as educators to use technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and it is going to give us a tailor personalized learning styles according to the capacity of the student. So I guess more and enough has also been said about it by my co-panelists. I'm really glad that I'm able to share a few insights and some action points or key considerations with the larger audience today with regard to the vocational components, or may I say the vocational elements in the national education policy. So the reference we have for this is a document of say about 60 to 66 pages, which was circulated widely and is also available in the public domain. So initially, when I started to, trying to comprehend, understand, analyze, and explore the vocational or the skill development component, I found that the words vocational and skills, they make an appearance for say more than 80 times in the document of 60 pages. So that itself shows that not only in word, but also in spirit, this policy emphasizes a lot on bringing the vocational learning and academic learning together in a blended form. There is a very interesting section in the document which we call reimagining vocational education, which I think comes on page number 43 and or 44, and that I know is the crux of the matter, where the entire focus on skill education and vocational training has been very, very well presented there. And probably in the sections 3, 4, 7, skill education is given prime importance now in school, also in higher education. So it is to be, it says, the policy says that it is to be induced at school level from preschool to class 12, and it aims to empower each student in at least one vocational skill. So the policy makes a very, very strong case for a seamless interoperability between the academics and the vocational streams. See, the introduction of vocational learning and skills like coding, as Naveen sir earlier mentioned, would help develop students the skill required to grow in this modern world. So India actually needed a very radical reform, of its school education. And trust me, mainstreaming of vocational education and skill development within the school system actually is the way forward. If I, as an educator, for me, there is nothing more beautiful than seeing a child to be able to go out with dignity from his school with, say, elementary mathematics, plus couple of native languages, plus a couple of, say, 1 or 2 foreign languages, plus basic computer skills. Also vocational, the training of vocational subjects such as welding or nursing or plumbing, so on and so forth. So I think that is something that is the most beautiful part for me in the entire document. But let me add here, this is not going to be easy. And if we read the policy from the skilling point of view, it becomes clear that there is a need for a lot of advocacy and exploring how multi-stakeholder and multi-channel engagements can happen to make this policy a reality. So I may safely say that moving from idealism to realism, from policy to practice, it is going to require a lot of people coming to the picture. Also a lot of changes which have to happen in the actually the mindset of the peoples, if we say, to think differently, to implement a policy which is quite a radical shift from what the conventional thought processes have been in the field of education, and especially particularly in the field of vocational education and skill development. So I feel that despite the efforts, it is a challenge to implement vocational education in the school curriculum, primarily due to the, again, I mentioned the mindset of the people, which attaches a kind of social stigma to vocational studies. So, it is a common belief that vocational courses maybe is only for the school dropouts, or those who do not do well in academics. Well, this is so wrong and on so many levels. The problem of dropouts is something that the existing theoretical education design which we have been given is really, really going to beautifully address. Nevertheless, I have a strong feeling that with the policy becoming a reality soon, as Matthew sir says, in the next, say, 6 months or 1 year, we should be able to see a much more balanced education model coming up in India, both at the primary level, secondary level, higher secondary level, and also at the college level. So there is something which is definitely going to make skill development or vocational training much more socially acceptable and meaningful. So moving with this policy coming, we are going to move from marks-oriented, examination-based assessment to assessment of skills. I hope this happens, of skills and competence. I think that is going to change the culture, practices, and the objective of education altogether. So providing opportunities to students right from school level to skill themselves through vocational courses, I think that is something that will make schools provide real education. So I welcome the decision of the government to make our students move from mindless mugging to actual learning, real learning, what I call. So this is something I'm really, really optimistically looking forward to. See, what we need to understand here is that the schemes related to vocational training were there. They were always there, but with one common goal, that is to provide entrepreneurships, over jobs, to promote entrepreneurships over jobs. But the current COVID-19 crisis has proved that the validity and necessity of such self-reliant society is required, and it also aims at redirecting unemployed youth to find employment through a self-sustained, skill-based model. So there are so many initiatives of the government already happening: Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, the latest being Atmanirbhar India. So all these policies, etc., are there. But this policy, this education policy that we are witnessing, is really going to strengthen the vocational training concept in our schools, in our students, and I hope it really does wonders for the school system. Thank you so much.
Thank
Matthew,
you,
sir.
Dr. Najib. Yeah, thank you, Najib, ma'am. Very well explained. I mean, the skill development and the vocational training, that was, I feel that was one of the aspects that we were missing out completely. We have engineers who cannot, repair, fuse of their house, and they are electrical engineers. Yeah.
Yes,
so it's really funny that you are studying so much, but the practical application was not there. And as you very rightly said, that dignity, skill courses were always thought about, this is not for who are good in academics, is only for those who are bad in academics or who are not scoring well. So, and I really like one thing about the bagless days, so that's a very joyous occasion for kids to come without bags. And and what I read in the NEP is that they'll get training from probably the local artisans, from the from the gardener, from the the carpenter or the electrician, the plumber, and these are basic skills which are required in life. Now anything goes wrong,
with that comes dignity of labor also.
Absolutely, dignity of labor.
Of labor. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Very well said.
And when we have dignity of labor and no work is high or low, and and we recognize each other's efforts, and we give due recognition to people, yeah, then I think we live in a progressive society. So thank you, Narjeet ma'am, for